Hi guys. Okay, continuing with the axe files. Now we're going to move on into actual cutting and stuff like that. And for this I'm going to use my camp hatchet that I've talked about. It's got a good edge on it. And I'm going to be using this to take down this dead pine right here. Now this dead pine's on the edge of a camping area. I'm getting it out before it falls on a camper type deal in a storm because it's dead. But I want to talk a little bit about how to fell. Okay, the first thing we want to look at is when I look at a tree that I intend to drop, or some standing piece of material. Now this one right here is probably, I'd say about 4 or 5 inches in diameter, probably like 5 inches in diameter, etc. It's probably about 15 foot, 20 foot tall, kind of spindly up there. Now the first thing I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at the top of the tree and make sure it ain't leaning one way or the other, because that's going to steer it. The weight's already lifted that way, so it wants to go that way. Usually the southern direction, or wherever the most sun was, that's where the bulk of the limbs go. So it wants to lean that way. So if possible, I want it to go the way it wants to fall. So I don't have to do any steering or whatever. So if it wants to come there, that's great. Now look, is there anything else that's going to hang up on? Because if I cut it and it falls and it gets drug into this oak over here or something, it's going to be hanging up there and I've got to recut it, and that gets into a dangerous situation. So I don't want to do that. I want it to fall free and clear into some slot. So I look at the tree and see which way is the tree leaning. Is that an area I can throw it into? Is it not going to interfere with me or my gear, and it's not going to hurt anything doing it? Okay, sounds good then. I will throw it that way. If there is a conflict, then I have to steer it, which means cutting it, putting a hinge, and then driving a wedge to lean it back against gravity and throw it where I want to go. That's another class, and that's a lot of work on how to throw it. But for right now, make sure where it's going is where you want it. Now, let's take a look at this tree a second. Now, if I go to chopping on one side, I will chop through the relatively soft outer wood, and I'm going to get to the harder core. Once I'm 3/4 way that the other side, the tree starts acting like a shock absorber. You've seen this a lot where people go to chopping and they start out good and they're making good headway, and then after a while it becomes a thump, 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 and they ain't making no headway and they ain't cutting no pieces out of it. That's when they've got into that springiness. I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to do a 360 around the tree, cutting all the fibers as I go, and then snap it off. That gives me the minimum amount of hits to do the maximum amount of work, damage. So I'm going to pick my place right here. I'm going to hit 2 good times. Notice I'm dropping limbs. Come to the other side. Same area. Same area. Same area. And finally, now I apply pressure. Okay, right here. Go to the far side. And then right here in the front. Right there. Now apply pressure again. There we go. Ta-da! And so, okay, and so I just took a piece that big, and you saw in, what, 2 minutes or less, I brought it down. I didn't go around going chop, 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 chop for 10 minutes. I cut the fibers all the way around. I stressed it the way it wanted to go. If there was no popping noise, I went and stressed it more. When I started leaning it, I heard pop, 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 pop. I feel like crackers breaking. Just a couple little rocks. and then I felt it start to go, and I just added pressure. Boom. Minimum calories on my part, maximum results. In just 2 minutes, I brought that down. And if I tried to just chop straight through it, I'd be here for 10 minutes going whop, 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 whop. But by doing it this way, beaver gnawing around the edge to cut all those fibers, leaning it, beaver gnawing again, and then finding right there is holding it. It will show you, I'm holding here, I'm holding here. That's kind of like when you're flexing a bow. You know, when you're tillering a bow, it flexes, but it doesn't flex evenly until you shave it right. Well, that's true of the tree as well. So whenever I go to cut, and I'm leaning against it, I would have thought, looking at it, you know, this side right here is going to be the strongest because it was uphill. It wasn't I cut that good, it was over here on the side. That's where the grain was holding it the most. So, a couple more hits, pop, pop, rock, rock, pop. Minimum effort. Now, it's on the ground. I'm going to make firewood out of it. Well, I'm going to take a piece about 6 foot out, and I'm going to cut it same way. Pop it all the way around and put it up against something, bear down, crack. 6 foot. Now that 6 foot length I can lay in the fire. I don't have to chop it down to this size. I don't have a stove to feed. So I can take 6 foot long pieces and simply make a star fire in the middle of my fire pit, and as they burn down, scoot them in. Less work for me to maintain a fire. Which right now, guys, it's 89 degrees and 90% humidity because it's been raining. It's Monday morning, Monday afternoon. And it's like there's no air moving whatsoever. You can feel the air going in out of your lungs. So you don't want a big fire today. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Please leave any questions or comments below. And there'll be more topics on the Axe Files coming up later on. Till next time, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.